What's up, Aries? Welcome to your mid-June 2021 general reading. This is going to be for you, Aries, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs. I'm sorry that this is getting out late to you, but honestly, after I pulled the cards, it makes sense. Like everything happens at a certain timing, right? I do want to give you a little heads up. I apologize if you hear boy in the background playing. He is on summer break and he is playing on the PlayStation with his homies. So ignore background voices. If you hear any yelling, that's just my kid. I'm excited to talk today. So I will say, in all honesty, June, it seems like it's been a month of, there's a lot to unpack here, right? If we're just thinking about kind of like the astrological steps and the flow of things, right? We go from your season, which is the top of the year, right? The top of the astrological year. So we go from the Aries energy of I am to the Taurus energy of I value to now the Gemini energy of I think. And with Gemini energy collectively each year, all of us kind of have a chance to look at things in our lives and like kind of re-examine facts and choose to communicate different. Like, it's third house energy, so it's all about communication. It's all about facts. It's all about your siblings, or like your close connections, like siblings, neighbors, that kind of thing. And especially because we just had that solar eclipse in Gemini season, this is a big one, right? So a lot of things are changing, especially the way that we communicate with one another, especially the things that we believe. I mean, I feel like we right now collectively are going through a big ass therapy session together, and you guys are no different. So I will say the emphasis this month is on that third house energy. It is on communication. It is on your relationships with your siblings. It is on truth and facts and information and all of that, right? But another thing to be mindful of for you guys, Venus right now is in Cancer. And Venus will be there until I believe it's the 27th of this month, right? So that's fourth house energy, which has a lot of emphasis on the family, the foundations, the family structure, the mother, right? Your emotional stability, that type of thing. But then it switches to being in Leo on the 27th, which will go into your fifth house energy. So it's more of a lighthearted, fun energy. It's more focused around your creativity. It's focused around romance, right? Your children, that sort of thing. So it's a kind of a nice switch. For you guys, I'm going to be honest. It feels like there might be you might have been or might be in the middle of experiencing some issues surrounding some family things, or even some work things. We are having a full moon in Capricorn at the end of the month on the 24th, which is affecting your 10th house. So it has a lot to do with your career, your public image, right? The authority. It's that Capricorn energy stuff. But it feels like the focus for you guys this month has a lot to do with your domestic affairs, especially in terms of your family. Although, even if things are a little rocky, it does feel like there's an opportunity for things to come together, especially concerning family. So you guys start off with the Three of Cups as the unseen energy at the bottom of the deck, right? The Three of Cups, the key word on this card is friendship, right? And it does have a lot to do with friendship. It has a lot to do with coming together. It's happiness, it's serendipity, it's something to celebrate. This might be a month that maybe, especially if you are experiencing something within your tight family unit, maybe this is a month where you are reaching out to friends more, like to be an ear and to be a support and to like allow you to unpack certain things, right? This might even be, again, it's interesting because Three of Cups, I always do kind of get like a sibling vibe, and I don't know why I've ever gotten that. But again, because we are dealing with that third house energy for you, it feels like there are some family things that might be happening that might need a deeper look into and maybe a different perspective altogether to help kind of solve the issues that are surrounding that, okay? Now, you guys start out with the Wheel of Fortune, and then you've got the Five of Swords. You've got the Seven of Swords. I'm actually just going to talk about all the cards because I can tell that I'm going to hop around on this reading, just the way the messages are coming to me. In your environment, you do have the Queen of Discs, which is Queen of Pentacles, followed by the Three of Swords, and then followed by the Four of Cups. Now, there's some tricky cards here. I'm not going to lie, like this isn't, you know, a little bit of like, you know, it's not an easy space necessarily, right? Especially we got all these swords cards, and you honestly got the most troubling swords cards. Some of the most troubling swords cards. So 5 of Swords, 7 of Swords, 3 of Swords. You may already know, maybe you don't, but Mercury is in retrograde right now, which we know it makes communication a little funky. People are on edge. You know, sometimes we say things we don't mean. Sometimes we say exactly what we mean, but people perceive it differently. And that may be the cause of if there's any friction in your life right now. So be mindful of that. I believe Mercury goes direct like on the 22nd, but the thing is there is that shadow phase afterwards. So really you could just have it in your mind like the rest of June is got this thing going on, right? Especially when we see this 5 of Swords, right? And the key word on here is defeat. 5 of Swords energy is that energy of like, yo, I'm not going to argue with you because this is an empty argument. Even if I feel like I win, I really haven't won, right? There is no solving this. There really is no real victories if they're empty victories. And it's interesting because you have that right by the 7 of Swords, which is about, you know, people who could be deceptive. People who could be sneaky, people who could not be telling the truth, people who could be taking from you, those sorts of things. And in many ways, some of you guys probably feel like that's the truth, whether someone's stealing money from you, whether that's someone stealing, you know, clothes or just like random tangible things, whether you feel like someone's stealing your agency, right, and your ability to make decisions for yourself, that's also a thing too. Now, with the 5 of Swords defeat, we've got the 7 of Pentacles. It's interesting because 7 of Pentacles energy is about planting seeds, but not quite knowing where it's leading you, right? Not quite knowing the outcome. We're at 7 of Pentacles. This is someone who's trying. And in most cases, look, like he looks a little impatient. This is someone who is literally currently losing patience because as far as they can see, they're not sure that their seeds are going to be flourishing and like actually yield great results, right? So especially in terms of like your relationships with people who you're especially close to right now, maybe people you live with, if it's family, if it's your lovers, if it's, you know, neighbors, it feels like there's been, for a lot of you guys, this not seeing eye to eye on things and this sort of like losing patience, but also not really knowing what to do because it's like you don't want to fight. Talking about it is not really helping. Maybe someone is not listening. Maybe someone's not open. Maybe everything's more one-sided. But, you know, we see these together. It's kind of sad because it does feel like it is a kind of like the energy of someone who could feel defeated in many ways, right? Now, with the 7 of Swords and the 3 of Swords, it kind of just confirms what I was saying about like, I don't know. It just feels like some of you might be in a space where you feel like people are taking from you. And again, it doesn't have to be tangible things. For many of you guys, I feel like this has to do more with your agency, you know, or like stripping you of your confidence almost in a way. Like you could have people around you this month who the things that they feel like they have to say to you, they're not choosing the nicest ways to say it, or they're not choosing, you know, the best ways to go about it that actually welcome in understanding and healing and change, right? So there's almost like this energy of being fed up that I get with you guys. And it's interesting that I clarified those 2 cards first, but let's talk about this Wheel of Fortune, right? I love that this starts the reading out because Wheel of Fortune is the karmic wheel turning, right? So I want to say if things feel really bad right now, if things seem really sticky right now, if things feel like they're not progressing right now, they are. There's a few planets that are retrograde right now. So we've got Mercury retrograde, Saturn is retrograde, Jupiter is going retrograde. I don't have the date in my mind right now. I might have written it down somewhere, but Jupiter goes retrograde in Pisces on the 20th, okay? So one thing about these retrogrades, it kind of leaves a stagnancy or like a pause, right? But what I guess I want to talk about is like the Saturn retrograde in general. When Saturn is direct, it's almost like we see everything in the external. Like there's things that we feel like we have to attack, responsibilities we have to fulfill, right? Because Saturn energy is connected to that Capricorn energy. It's very much the rules and the adulting side of things. But when Capricorn is retrograde, I mean, when Saturn is retrograde, the nice thing is it almost feels like there's like a layer of expectation and like micromanaging that's kind of taken off, right? It doesn't feel so much like you got someone breathing down your neck, and it kind of gives us the space to figure out what it is that we want to do for us. Like, where do I want to go? Where do I see myself? What is it that I want to do? Not what is it that society is telling me? What is it that I want? And so Saturn will be retrograde until October. I think it's like October 10th. So this gives us a nice couple months to kind of really figure out the next steps for what you want to do for you, Aries, which is really, really beautiful without having that like added pressure. So I think that's significant. And with that, look at, we got the Wheel of Fortune and we've got the Judgment card, which we know Judgment card is about making decisions, is kind of about choosing, is in many ways about second chances and a rebirth. For some of you guys, there may be some situations that have come up, either whether they're relationships, well, it seems like it's relationships, whether they're intimate relationships or like relationships, again, with family members, friends, that type of thing, where a lot of you guys are really kind of trying to figure out how you want to deal with these people and still maintain your boundaries. That's what a lot of this read feels like. It's like, if I'm going to deal with these situations, if I'm going to deal with these people, if I'm going to deal with this space, it has to work for me, right? Because I can't keep feeling like I'm being ganged up on. I can't keep feeling like we're just always arguing. I can't keep feeling like there's people who are around me that are deceiving me. So it's almost like figuring out exactly how it is that you want to go about these things without that added pressure, which is really, really good. What I will say is, going into this newness of this Wheel of Fortune, right? Wheel of Fortune always spins in our favor. And I like that you guys have the Judgment card, because that lets you know that even if you're in a situation right now, Aries, where you're feeling powerless to certain people or certain circumstances, you're not. The ball is really in your court. There could also be like a Scorpio involved, right? Judgment card is like Scorpio energy because it's kind of like that death rebirth energy. I always think of Libra too, just because of like the decision making factor. But you have more power than you think. And I think a lot of you guys are coming to that conclusion, even though if you're in this type of a situation, it doesn't feel comfortable, I will say. Now, for many of you, interesting, Queen of Discs in the environment, I feel like this has to do, I feel like this is heavily like family centered, right? Now, I always tell people it's interesting, out of all the queens, the Queen of Discs or the Queen of Pentacles seems like the most mommy to me, right? She seems like the most like, she picks up the kids, she takes them everywhere, she's got their lunches packed, she's, you know, she's the one who really manages the house. She's CEO, right? She does all the things, she's got her hands in so many pots, she's super grounded, she's super down to earth, she's super all these things. And then it's interesting though, because this is the only deck, and I have several decks, this is the only deck where she's actually pregnant, or like, you know, like visibly pregnant. Like you would more see this image in like an Empress card or something. But so it's giving me true mother vibes. So this could be something, a situation with your mother, a situation surrounding the mother, especially like I said, Venus in Cancer right now for you guys is 4th house energy, which is literally mother energy. But there's 4 of Cups here, right? So almost some type of a disagreement or dispute surrounding it. You know, when we hit the 4 of Cups, we get the energy of, oh, I'm not interested. This is just, you know, this isn't satisfying to me. I don't want it. I've had enough of it. All the things. So I'm going to be honest with you. It feels like there's some type of a dispute around family relations or your mother or something. And it could very well be 9 of Cups That Nine of Cups and Four of Cups, it's like such a contrast for me. It could very well be that someone in the mix or someone's in the mix are being quite selfish. You know what I mean? There's a lot of threes here. You got Three of Swords twice, right? Because that's the next card here. And then remember, that was clarifying the Seven of Swords. You also got the Three of Cups here. And then even though Four of Cups is Four Cups, I can't help but notice these three cups. So I don't know, I'm almost feeling like there's three people involved. This could be third party, but it's not feeling like romantic, although it's general, so it could be. But it feels like there's argument or discourse between a few people, not just a couple, a few. 3, 4, it's bigger than just two people. It's bigger than just a simple A and B disagreement. Page of Wands. Page of Wands, I like to see this here with the Three of Swords, because even though Three of Swords is a quite difficult energy to be in, it has a lot to do with betrayal or heartbreak or something, right? And you've got that message twice here. So I feel like some of you guys might be really feeling betrayed by someone who, like, you felt like you were supposed to be able to trust. There's supposed to be a level of respect and love here, but it doesn't feel like it. And this doesn't necessarily feel romantic to me. This read doesn't really feel romantic. Although, for some of you it is, because I will say, I know I'm hopping ahead, but you got the unrequited love here. So there's not enough attraction or chemistry to keep this relationship going. So there may have been some type of betrayal romantically, and maybe this is the month where this is kind of all being let out type thing. But I like that the Page of Wands is clarifying it, because Page of Wands energy, pages are messages and messengers, right? When we're talking about Page of Wands, this is very good luck, right? This could also have to do with travel. Maybe some of you guys are considering traveling or moving or doing something different after this thing. And if it's someone who has kind of fucked with you and like hurt your feelings, there could be some type of resolve here. Let's see. So the last card you guys got is Four of Cups, meditation. So you got the Four of Cups twice too. Three of Swords twice, which is a card of sorrow and kind of defeat and heartbreak. And then Four of Cups twice, which is a card of not really interested, I'm not really feeling this, or I've had enough of this, right? Because it can talk about you not being interested in certain options, but it could also give the idea of, yo, you're trying to, it's like someone at the bar trying to order you a drink and you're like, I'm still working on a drink. I don't need a drink. I've got 3 drinks here. I'm good. But you're trying to give me this drink. I don't want a drink. That type of thing. So basically that energy of, I've had enough of this, whatever this thing is, right? Now, the word on this card is meditation, which I think is kind of giving advice. If you are in this space, feeling this way, maybe feeling confused about the next steps or what it is that you really want for yourself or how to handle a certain situation, meditation is a really good idea this year, or this month at this time, right? But you've got the Wheel of Fortune twice at this point now, right? Didn't you get the Wheel? So you got the Wheel of Fortune twice. Interesting. You got some complicated cards, but you got the Wheel of Fortune twice. I know some of you guys aren't going to want to hear this, but it's almost as if maybe this dispute or maybe this situation or maybe this whatever it is that you guys are in, maybe this is the catalyst to push you guys further into something that's greater for you, right? Four of Swords here. It's about resting. It's about relaxing. It's about meditating. It's about getting very clear and very much in touch with spirit so that you know your next moves. So I do think that there's something that maybe has occurred this month or maybe will be occurring, especially in terms of like domestic affairs. Like this could be work, this could be intimate relationships, this could be things with family, siblings. But there's something, and for many of you, it almost feels like you feel like something was taken from you, whether it was respect, your agency, your fill in the blank, right? But you really get to decide at moving forward how you want to deal with this situation and deal with these people. You got the Wheel of Fortune twice. You've got the Judgment card. You've got more power in this situation than you think you do, even though I know a lot of you guys are feeling helpless if this is you. Now, in terms of these things that have gone on, will you be receiving messages? Will you be maybe receiving an apology? Will there be some type of acknowledgement on this situation? Most likely. It looks like it. Um, and with the Page of Wands, that's good luck there. So we'll see. Although, yeah, we'll see. Okay, so you've got donations, tithing, and charitable work. It says, give joyfully to the organizations and people who spiritually support and inspire you, and know that your generosity will be returned to you manyfold in miraculous ways. The time, supplies, money, or other resources you donate will ensure that your positive energy multiplies. I know that's right. Oh, baby's calling me. All right. And then along with that unrequited love, you also had finances and career that came out, which says financial issues are a factor in your love life right now. So again, some of you guys, there may be some things with money coming up, especially with that full moon in Capricorn, which is like ruling the 10th house, right? Hang in there. I do think that will iron itself out for the most part. I think the biggest thing and the biggest focus this month is really more about, again, the domestic affairs. So I would really kind of put the focus into that. And then we will see where that leaves us for next month. Okay, I hope this was helpful for you guys. If you'd like a personal reading, you can reach out to me at shesvibetarot@gmail.com. But go to my About tab first, look at the menu of services and pricing, and figure out what it is that you want before you email me. Unless what you want is a live reading, which you can schedule with the link that's provided, okay? So I love you guys. I hope that this was helpful, and I'll see you soon. Bye, Aries.